Breaking news. The Los Angeles Chargers have made some moves that could shake things up. Two fresh signings have been added to the practice squad, an offensive lineman and a cornerback. And trust me, these signings are worth paying attention to, especially when it comes to the protection on that offensive line. But before we dive deeper into today's latest NFL updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss breaking news like this. Now, let's get straight to it. The Chargers have officially signed offensive lineman Michael Dunn and cornerback Waxter to the practice squad. In the process, they released quarterback Miles Purchase and outside linebacker Rashid Weaver. Tough cuts for sure, especially considering Purchase showed flashes of real potential. Now, why does this matter? Well, the offensive line has been a sore spot for the Chargers. Injuries have piled up, guys like Rashawn Slater and Mekhi Becton dealing with serious issues, including concussion protocols. So, adding Michael Dunn isn't just a roster move, it's a sign the Chargers are desperate to find stability up front. As for Waxter, he brings depth to a secondary that could definitely use more options. Depth is everything in the NFL, and this move proves the Chargers aren't waiting around. It's always interesting when a team signs a player 1 week, only to let him go the next. That's exactly what just happened with the Chargers, and it leaves fans wondering what went wrong behind the scenes. But let's put that aside and focus on the real question: who is Michael Dunn, and what can he actually bring to this team? Now, let's be honest. This isn't one of those big-name, flashy signings that dominate headlines. Mid-season, it's rare to find an elite offensive lineman just waiting around to be signed. Most teams hold on to their best talent, so the Chargers are hoping they've uncovered a hidden gem in Dunn. Here's what you need to know: Michael Dunn is no rookie. He's a 31-year-old veteran with experience across multiple leagues, even the XFL. He's primarily known as a guard, and while he's not the tallest or heaviest lineman compared to what the Chargers usually look for, his updated size at around 315 pounds makes him a much stronger fit. Dunn is a big-bodied, versatile player who's been around the league long enough to understand what it takes to fight for a roster spot. And with the offensive line struggling due to injuries, the Chargers are clearly betting that his toughness and experience can add some much-needed depth and stability. Michael Dunn's football journey has been long and winding. He's worn plenty of jerseys, spending time with the Rams back in 2017 to 2018, the Jaguars in 2018, the Birmingham Iron of the XFL, the Dolphins in 2019, the Seattle Dragons in 2020, and then a solid run with the Cleveland Browns from 2020 through 2024. Earlier this year, he even had a brief stint with the 49ers before landing with the Chargers in 2025. That experience matters, but what really makes Dunn valuable is his versatility. He isn't locked into one role, he can line up in multiple spots across the offensive line, and that's exactly the kind of flexibility the Chargers need. With injuries piling up at both guard and tackle, having a player who can step into different positions gives this team options it badly needs. Don't be surprised if Dunn gets called up to the active roster soon. Now, let's be real, his numbers aren't eye-popping. Last season with the 49ers, Dunn only logged 171 snaps. His Pro Football Focus grades were below average, a 54.5 in run blocking and just 34.7 in pass protection, ranking near the bottom among guards. Overall, he came in at 46.5, not the type of grade that screams, game changer. But here's the key: those grades don't tell the whole story. He hasn't had a consistent stretch of playing time to show what he can really do. And with his ability to shift between guard, center, and even tackle in a pinch, the Chargers are betting on versatility over perfect stats. In the NFL, sometimes that's exactly what keeps an offensive line alive through a long season. Michael Dunn's versatility doesn't stop with the offensive line, believe it or not, he's even lined up as a tight end before. That kind of flexibility shows he's not just a depth piece, but someone who can be moved around depending on what the team needs. Last season, Dunn's numbers were limited: 171 total snaps, with 107 in pass protection and 64 in run blocking. In that time, he allowed 2 sacks, 2 hits, and 6 total pressures. Those aren't standout stats, but they do show he has experience in real game situations. The truth is, no one's expecting Dunn to walk in and instantly transform this offensive line. He's more of a rotational piece, a safety net for a unit that desperately needs stability. Right now, the Chargers' offensive line is under serious fire. Just last week, they gave up 27 total pressures. That's nearly half the snaps, and for an NFL team, that's completely unacceptable. So what happens next? The Chargers have 2 paths. Either they roll with Dunn and hope he can provide much-needed depth while the coaching staff places him in the right role, or they wait for the opportunity to grab a bigger name through a trade when one becomes available. For now, Dunn might not be the headline-grabbing signing, but sometimes, it's the underrated moves that keep a team afloat during the toughest stretches of the season. Don't be surprised if this addition proves more important than it looks on paper. Maybe we're all overlooking Michael Dunn just a little. He might not be the headline grabber, but he could turn into one of those players who quietly adds real value to the roster. But Dunn wasn't the only move this week. The Chargers also signed cornerback Asia's Waxter. Waxter is an interesting name. He came out of Villanova as an undrafted player, but his physical tools stand out. At 6 feet 1 inch and 209 pounds, he's got good length and size for the position. His draft metrics backed that up too, ranking 9th in production score and finishing with a total draft score that placed him 12th among cornerbacks. He clocked a 4.56 in the 40-yard dash, hit 35 inches on the vertical jump, and added a 10-foot 4 broad jump. In short, he's athletic, well-built, and still young with room to grow. Waxter spent some time with the Seahawks during preseason, but didn't make the final roster. Now, he's getting another chance with the Chargers. So why bring in another cornerback? That's the big question. Maybe the team isn't fully confident in Dean Leonard's health. Maybe Cam Hart's lingering hip issue is more concerning than they've let on. Or perhaps this is about bolstering depth for special teams. Whatever the reason, Waxter's arrival adds competition and insurance at a position where the Chargers can't afford to fall short. And in the NFL, those quiet depth signings often end up being difference-makers when the season wears on. Depth matters, and that's exactly what the Chargers are chasing with Asia's Waxter. In college, he proved himself as an aggressive, high-energy defender. Last year, he earned honorable mention All-American honors, played in 11 games with 10 starts, and finished with 33 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, and 3 forced fumbles, tying him for 6th in the FCS. Those numbers show a player who isn't afraid to get physical and attack the ball. Waxter might not step in as a starter right away, but he brings toughness and competition to a roster that can always use more of both. Whether it's on defense or special teams, having another hungry body fighting for a spot only makes this team stronger. But let's be clear, the real spotlight is still on the offensive line. That's where the Chargers need help the most. Michael Dunn may just be one piece of the puzzle, but fans are waiting for bigger, bolder moves to secure Justin Herbert's protection and finally give this offense the stability it needs. So, what do you think? Will Dunn and Waxter prove to be smart, under-the-radar additions? Or are the Chargers still one big signing away from truly fixing their issues? One thing is certain, the front office has more work to do, and the pressure to deliver is only getting louder.